if you turn on your streaming service of choice, let's say like a Netflix or a Hulu, and you go to the international section, you're most likely to come across this term, Korean dramas. Yes, y'all, Korean dramas, they are so big. They're everywhere. They're expansive and they're plentiful and they're bountiful. And Netflix, Nim, and streaming services just like them, they are making a check up off these things because they are pumping out these Korean dramas left and right, left and right. Do y'all remember in the pandemic, everybody and their moms was watching this one show called Crash Landing on You? And when I say everybody and their moms, I'm not including myself in that number because I could only get through one episode until I had to OT Genesis cut it, okay? But that isn't to say that I don't like Korean dramas or Korean movies because y'all, I am not new to this. I am true to this. And back in my day, because I'm a child of the internet, back in the day, I used to be watching Korean dramas incessantly. I actually have these 3 that I call my OGs because these were the dramas that I was watching in the 2000s. There was one called Secret Garden, and it's got the same actor as in Crash Landing on You. And then there was another one called My Girlfriend's a Gumio. Now that was about a 9-tailed fox falling in love with a human. I promise you it ain't no furry nothing, okay? And then the last one was the OG, Boys Over Flowers. That was amazing. It was one of my favorites, and it still is one of my favorites to this day. Now, when I think back to middle school me over here watching these Korean soap operas in a language that I didn't speak and still don't speak, but one day hope to speak, fingers crossed we'll see. Annyeonghaseyo, let me get that together. All right. I just think back like, girl, there's so many things I want to tell you, middle school me. Like, one, why didn't you get no stock? Get you some stock in whatever production company is creating all these dramas, all right? Because one day in the 20-teens, these things are going to pop off. They're going to get so popular that Netflix and all the other streaming services are going to be making their own in-house dramas, okay? I would tell myself to get that check. And then number 2, I would tell myself that I am not unique. I would tell myself that this niche hobby that I like is also shared among a broader community, and that I'm going to one day have my own podcast and I'm going to invite somebody from this broader community to come with me and talk about it. And so that's why I'm super excited about today's episode, because I invited my cousin, Brianna Peoples, again, not my blood cousin, y'all, but my homegirl, Brianna Peoples, who is a triple threat. She is an actress. She is a K-drama aficionada, all right? And she's also an artist, but most importantly, she's a K-drama aficionada. She knows everything about K-dramas, about the trends, about the tea, about the actors, okay? And she comes on this show to break down why K-dramas are so popular for people like me and her, why they're so appealing with the slow burn, with the bad kisses sometimes, all right? But why do we love this art form? And why is it so important to our social ether right now? So I hope you enjoy. So you and I, we love K-dramas, okay?
Yes, we do.
And I am so excited for this conversation. Why? Because, girl, you are literally the connoisseur when it comes to the K-dramas. You know when a kiss is about to happen. You know when the evil Ajumma is about to, tell the couple, I'll give you $500 if you leave my son alone. Or not dollars. What is it? Won?
One, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'll give you 5,000 won. I'll give you 5 billion won if you just leave my son alone, because I don't want you in my life. But I am so excited, sis. So, you and I, we're clearly Black.
Yes.
And you and I like Korean dramas, but we're not unique in this sense. Like, there are many Black people, there are many non-Korean people that consume Korean dramas, especially now, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. I've noticed like the huge blossoming of like Korean drama fans ever since they got onto streaming platforms like Netflix, and now Amazon Prime has some.
Amazon Prime has Korean dramas.
Yes, I just discovered it. Like this new one called Marry My Husband, which is on my list. I
Oh
haven't
my gosh.
watched it.
Wait, that's definitely based off of a manhwa.
Yeah.
Oh, a webtoon.
I've heard that.
I've read it.
Yes, that's another craze that's happening right now. Like they're adapting a lot of webtoons, manhwas into dramas. Like I've been on top of it. I've watched so many, but Marry My Husband is on my to watch list.
Oh my gosh, do you know what happens? I'm not going to spoil it for you.
No. Well, I mean, I've heard, because like people in the comments are like, oh my gosh, this is so similar to the webtoon. I know it's a happy ending, thank goodness, because
that's all we want, honestly.
Right, because there's this trend or term that's been popping up called K-trauma, and I'm like K-trauma because like a lot of writers introduced that sad, bittersweet endings to K-dramas lately.
Don't introduce me that. I mean,
right?
I think the reason why we like Korean dramas is because you always get a happy ending. Mm-hmm. It's like a longer rom-com if you're in the rom-com space. I'm not really a rom-com girl, but I don't know, something about the drama, something about the innocence, and something about like the nostalgia of like childhood innocence, first blossoming love, first loves, if you will. It's a lot of first love stories. So, but listen, girl, we could go on and on about the details of it, and we're gonna get into it. You best believe we're gonna get into it. But listen, Brianna, I want to know, when was like the first time you watched a Korean drama? How old were you, and what was that first drama?
Oh my gosh, it's a journey, but let me try to do a TLDR a little bit. But basically, I kind of got into it through anime, believe it or not.
Okay. I believe it, girl.
Because my brothers, they introduced me to, like Inuyasha, Naruto, Bleach. And through that, I discovered the anime, Hana Yori Dango.
Okay.
And so I watched the anime first, and then I saw like there's a Japanese live action. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And while I was watching that, I discovered the Korean live action. So I watched that alongside copy prints. So I'm not sure like the timeline, but I feel like those two are kind of like my very first Korean dramas that I watched.
Yes, girl. Yes, girl. It's so funny for Brianna because not only again is she my twin over here vibing, but your story is literally my story.
Really?
Because when I was always an anime girl, and I also didn't know that I was watching anime till I was like maybe I want to say 6 or 7, because I didn't know the terms. You know, I just thought interesting cartoons. But I was also watching Hana Yori Dango, and it's my favorite anime. Well, my favorite shoujo anime in the whole wide world. And when I found out there was a Japanese version,
oh my gosh,
I was like, oh my gosh. And they already had like a movie too, and then I watched the Korean one, and it was called Boys Over Flowers. There we go.
There it is.
Girl, Gujumpyo. Gujumpyo was everybody's North Star. That was our Roman Empire, right?
Yes. But for some reason I love like the two like other guys in the F4, like the bad boys. So not necessarily the leads, although Gujumpyo was amazing. I'm forgetting their Korean names.
We don't remember everybody's name because it's had so many versions. But for people that don't know what Boys Over Flower is, how would you describe that? Like, what was the premise of that show? That plot?
My gosh, it's this poor girl who's so determined to make her way in life, gets a scholarship to like an elite high school, you know, where like society's best of the best, like richest people send their kids to, and she encounters this ultimate popular group in the school called F4, and she falls in love with one member of the group, but she gets
Rui Hanazawa, the sweetest one.
Yes. But then she gets into it, like starts fighting right away with the leader of the group. Yes. And it's such a cute enemies to lovers kind of story, and all the tropes again. All the tropes.
But love triangles, like 2 different love triangles. We see a boy that's in the manga, he was very abusive, in my opinion, emotionally abusive, and then he also like at one point got her bullied by the rest of the school, and
that happens in the live drama too. Yeah. So it's like, thinking back on it now, it's kind of like, why would you fall in love with
this abuser? He shackled you to a car, or they shackled you to a car and made you run after a car, and eventually you fell and scraped your whole face. Like, you bust your stuff. Now, at this point in the conversation, if we were trying to reel people into the K-drama fandom, I'm not sure if this particular detail was going to do the job and, reel them in. But in all seriousness, we do not want to ever romanticize toxic, abusive relationships in K-dramas or in any media, period. So I don't know how, but we, as young people, because I imagine you were watching this in middle school? That's when it came out, in like 09, 08.
Yeah, so I think I was about 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah, so we were younger. We're still young, but we were younger, and it was a different time. And also I remember at that time, because like obviously Korean dramas weren't on ABC or whatever. Where were you watching them?
Oh my gosh, those like, I don't want to call them like illegal sites, but like those not as well known sites. Okay,
fringe, niche.
Yes.
Boutique sites.
I had to like go digging, like the ones you had to go digging for, just to like watch, to find all the English subtitle episodes.
R.I.P. to Drama Fever.
Crunchyroll
used to have free stuff.
Gosh, yes.
Man, y'all remember those free days of Crunchyroll? And then there was also what was it, Drama Cool?
Yes.
Drama Cool. I don't know if that still exists, but then I feel like right now everything is transitioned. There's Vicky. Some people watch a lot of their dramas. And then of course Netflix, like you were saying, Netflix has a lot of dramas, and that has expanded their market. I think the market for K-dramas has expanded, just like similarly with K-pop and Korean pop culture, which is always interesting to see, because when it's not that we were pioneers when we were watching it, but like imagine being a little black girl. All right, you're 12, 13, maybe 14, and you're over here obsessing over these folks and these dramas and these characters and these stories and plots, and specifically Korean dramas, and you're watching them, you're binging them, you're marathoning, and it's like it's a medium that's not meant for you, but then you still find yourself identifying in some ways. What do you think drew you to the dramas?
Oh my gosh, it's
girl, we want to know.
I know. Such a great question. I think it was the escape, for one, because I'm always about escaping into like all my different art forms, which you mentioned in your intro. Love my art.
She's dancing. She's doing. She's singing. She's acting.
But I think it was just the way they told stories. It was so different than the way people in the United States and just in Americas tell stories. It's such a different form. It was like brighter colors, such interesting storylines. I feel like was such a big part for me too, because even back then they had a lot of fantastical historical elements they included, some even like time traveling, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't get that in a lot of American kind of film and TV shows. A lot of it is more, you got your reality-based shows, you got your cop, lawyer, medical dramas.
We love a true crime here in the States. If someone's dead, we're going to figure out who did it in 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah. So that just got so kind of tiring, and this kind of the way they present it, like the storylines. And of course, always like the romance, because unlike you, Brianna, I am a rom-com girl or a romance girl, because I watch the romance dramas as well.
Okay. Like Korean dramas, you mean?
Korean dramas.
Oh, I meant like I'm not a rom-com in terms of like, the corny movies that they always have for Valentine's Day in the States.
Okay. Yeah, those.
Yeah. But I also can't do something that's too sappy. Go ahead. Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah. So just like those stories, because the way they told them, it did feel more relatable, like, and even something you want to like strive for, achieve for, like you want maybe like those kind of young romance stories, those kind of first love stories, or even like those friend connections, because like Korean culture too is something very family based. I realized, like, if you notice with a lot of Asian names, they say their last name first and then their first name last, because they're all about the family structure in a lot of Asian countries. So I kind of loved that growing up in a household with divorced parents, or two households with divorced parents, and my brothers being much older than me. So I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with them. So that kind of drew me in as well.
Wow. I love that escapism and the appreciation, even like linguistically, how you're like, okay, I'm learning that they do the last name first. And I know a lot of cultures, many cultures do the last name first. They're, or they don't call it their last name, they call it their family name, right? I think that is so interesting though, that you were able to find a connection in a space where, you weren't feeling it. Like it was something that was supplemental to your life and helped to bridge the gap in some hard moments. For me, that definitely was the case. I was watching dramas in, I want to say 7th grade. That's when I was really heavy into it. That's when I was really watching Hana Yori Dango every day after 7th grade. I'm like, today winded me. Oh my gosh, how much more testing and essays do we have to do? And little did I know I'd continue to go on with that. But I would watch dramas, and I think what I liked about it was, again, that innocence, because I was still a young child and I'm idealizing high school, but I wasn't necessarily idealizing in the way that I did when I watched Degrassi, because Degrassi had me thinking, oh my gosh, we all doing drugs.
Right?
We
I watched
all get
Degrassi
pregnant.
too.
Whatever it takes to not get that outcome. R.I.P. to JP. And I'm so glad Drake is Drake. Okay. Girl, sometimes I'll be like, oh, Jimmy. I'm so glad Drake is Drake. So, I remember that when I watched it though, like those fantastical elements you were saying, one of my first dramas that I watched, because even though I did watch Boys Over Flowers and that helped me to start watching dramas, I was really into Korean movies for a while, because that's all Netflix had at one point. They didn't have their own original movies. They had a lot of Indian, Bollywood cinema, and they had a lot of Korean movies. So I watched a lot of movies there, and I did go on other sites as well, you know. Shout out VO, shout out those old sites from the early aughts and the mid aughts. But the show that I was going to talk about was really this one called My Girlfriend is a Gumio. That was it was called. Yeah. And it was like about a nine-tailed fox. And if you, as you said, you watch Naruto, so you already know nine-tailed fox lore is very much present in that region of East Asia. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's again, enemies to lovers, or rather one person's invested and then the other person, you're waiting for them to like catch up with their feelings. Yeah. And I just loved it. Like to this day, I will read in my manga, because that's my hobby, my side hobby. I'll read an arranged marriage anytime. Give me a arranged marriage. We hate each other in the beginning, and now we fall in love.
I love it. I love it too.
I love it. Because I love the predictability of it. I love the comfort of it, because you know it's going to be the same plot repeated. Yep. And why do you think that is, that we just like to? Because I mean, I'm not saying that dramas are the same plot repeated. There are so many nuances there, but there is a centrality to, or a through line to, a lot of dramas that keep people coming back for more. You always want a happy ending, right?
Yeah.
But why do you think that is?
Again, I think it's like that escapism. Just that you want to almost like live vicariously through those characters.
Yes.
Too.
I want nine tails. I'm trying to turn up.
You want that fantasism. Like you want like that maybe otherworldly kind of romance. Like,
but I want better kisses. Those early kisses.
Yes.
I'm like,
don't get me started. Like the peck.
The peck that wasn't even touching. It was, you are my destiny.
And then it's like,
and they're getting it from 4 different angles.
And it's just soft touch, lips touch. And I'm just like, all that for this?
Oh my gosh.
I was so disappointed. But I think I read though that a lot of it was because a lot of those actresses were quite young, and some of them were even idols, like for the people who don't know, idols is a term for like K-pop actresses, so people who were in K-pop singer groups, and they had like an image to maintain.
Pause. We're talking about images and groups. I happen to be wearing a 17 hoodie. Say the name 17.
Say BTS.
Excuse me. Say the name 17 carats. Shout out to the army and
BTS Army. Thank you.
I hear all of your members are in the army. Sorry for you. I've got 13 to pick though.
Almost here.
I've got 13 to pick. So I want to give a shout out to 17. Listen to their music, stream it everywhere. Oh wait, my shirt also is 17, and it has FML, which was one of their songs. It was called Blank My Life, and they really just talk about the hardships of life, but how you got to keep going on and having hope. But I think that's also the through line of BTS. They're always telling people like, forever young, we young forever. That's me and my RM impression, because he used to really be heavy on that black accent. He's since stopped, but he used to be on the dramas and everything, or the shows, and be like, let me show you my English that I learned from BET. God bless you. And for the army, please don't come for us. Okay, so you were saying idols.
Yes. So back, I guess, before a lot of K-dramas hit mainstream, they had a lot of K-pop idols in like these lead roles, again, to kind of garner popularity for their shows, which I think they still do to this day. But
yeah, because you know who kills it? My boy. What's my boy? Kyung-soo. Come on.
Oh yeah, D.O.
D.O.
from EXO.
From EXO.
Dude.
EXO. He be acting.
He came into the K-drama scene with like a bang. Oh my gosh, like the first drama he was in, I'm forgetting the name of it now. I'm so sorry, because I've seen so many. Your girl's been in this game for over 10 years.
Okay, come on, put in a decade of work.
But yeah, he put like the younger version of like the male lead who he was hallucinating in the drama.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I need to watch it.
Yeah,
I need a couple, but 100 Days My Prince is my favorite one.
I haven't seen that one yet. I gotta see that one. So we gotta trade names.
Okay, trade. Okay.
But yeah, it was so good because he was playing such a traumatized younger version of the male lead, and people complimented him so much because that was like his breakthrough role. Yeah. And since then, he's been killing the game.
Just booking.
Yes. And it also reminds me of Jin Young from GOT7 because he also came in with a bang, and he's still killing it.
And he did. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. I used to be a GOT7 girl.
Me too.
I was on that GOT17 life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Good old days. Got 17 top like girl.
Look at you.
Boyfriend, I think it was. Just so many groups. I could go on and on, but
we'll come back for a part 2. If y'all like this conversation, we'll do a K-pop conversation and I'll bring this expert back. Cousins, imagine it, a whole episode dedicated to K-pop, the things we love, the things we hate, the boy groups, the girl groups, all that fun stuff. So if you'd be interested in that type of conversation, make sure you drop us a line, give us a little note at cousinsthepod@gmail.com. That's cousinsthepod@gmail.com. Didn't that sound like a commercial? Now let's get back to the pod.
Kind of, I guess, to bring it back. Yeah, they had like idols in those dramas.
And that's why the kisses sucked.
Yeah, because they had like a purity almost kind of image to maintain. But I think it was mainly for the female girl group members. So
makes sense. Okay. Well, I know now people are seeing some tongue.
Oh my gosh.
You go on Netflix and there's the one about like the wives that I forgot what it's called. I want to call it First Wives Club. It's not First Wives Club, but it's like the wives who are cheating on their husbands or their husbands are cheating on them or divorced or something.
Yeah.
All I know
I've heard about that
is
one,
that it seems like it's more, if we were to, categorize it using the nomenclature of like manga, josei, like very much more mature. And I'm like, okay, all right. Also, Crash Landing on You was huge, right? Did you watch that?
I did not.
I wasn't expecting that.
I don't know. Like, I felt like I was jumping on the bandwagon if I watched like the really, really popular ones. That's why I still haven't watched Squid Game.
That's not a drama though. That's like, I didn't know Squid Game was going to pop out as it did, because when I watched it, I remember I was texting my friends in the group chat. I said, guys, like, I think it happened in the pandemic when we were watching it, right?
Yeah, I think that's when it blew up because everyone was like,
we're at
on
home.
Netflix.
Yeah, we're watching Netflix every day. Like our lives depend on it because we're just trying not to catch this disease. And I was like, hey guys, I'm watching this show and it's popping. I'm on episode 3. I'm like, oh, it's so good. But I'm thinking that I'm about to be like, I don't know if this is just me, but sometimes when I discover things, I'm like, I made it popular. I'm so wrong. It's so inaccurate, but I'm like, yo, you wouldn't believe I'm at the precipice of this thing. I'm watching Squid Games, and then I come to find out, like, maybe I think I watched it on a Thursday and finished it on a Saturday, and I see by Monday it's blown up and everybody's talking about it. It was so big that I ended up going to like almost a LARP, like a live action role playing here based in our city, and they had it at this really nice what was it, like a park. And then basically what we did is we reenacted the games to try to win money. I wanted to win like $2,000. I did not win $2,000, and those people were biased as fudge. They're like, oh, you moved. No, I didn't. But anyway, yes, Squid Games. So we're talking about these dramas, and clearly there's a difference, because like I think what dramas have done for other parts of Korean cinema has opened people's eyes and made them more willing, if you will, to watch some things that are not American media, if you will. And maybe that's a generalism because we don't have the stats yet, but just in being in the culture and being in the social ether, like, I don't know, like you were saying, Squid Games is not a drama, but it is a Korean piece of work. And there are many people that don't like dramas that watch Squid Game. And there are many people that watch other shows that are in Korean but aren't necessarily like, your lovey-dovey drama or like your literally dramatic drama. So isn't that kind of cool? Like, y'all wasn't really vibing with it, but now you're vibing with it. Now you're rocking with it. I love it.
Yeah. I see it blowing up everywhere, like you mentioned, and they're being nominated for Oscars, like Parasite. That brilliant work, even though I haven't seen it.
What? You call it brilliant and you ain't even seen it.
I read the reviews.
I read the reviews, and so I know it's brilliant.
So it's like I know.
Biases. Oh my goodness gracious.
But yeah, so seeing that like get the recognition, and seeing other works get recognition, like RRR, that Indian Bollywood movie. So I definitely think having that like explosion of popularity in K-pop and K-drama really help people see like, oh, so American media isn't the only thing available. Like people are brilliant storytellers all over the world.
Yes. Come on. Hey.
Yes.
It's giving We Are the World. Come on.
We are
the children. Yeah.
For sure. Because your girl isn't only an Asian drama girly, because I do watch other Asian dramas and I do watch like telenovelas. So
okay, you don't discriminate. If there's drama, she's watching it.
For sure.
I need to bring someone on for telenovelas then. And maybe you need to be in that conversation. But I think that's so true. You were saying like it expanded your worldview, especially for you saying you had started when you were like maybe 13, 14, 15 or something like that. And, 10 years plus in the game of watching these dramas. How would you say that has expanded your idea of like just humanity and people?
Oh my gosh. It's definitely changed my worldview, because I think without having watched dramas in my life, I would still, I guess I don't know how to say it, but I would still be thinking of like America as the superpower it claims to be. I know this is getting a little kind of deep here.
Okay.
But like, hey,
talk about it.
This is what we do, cousin. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's not like the biggest competitor in every game it claims to be. Like you got some heavy hitters around the world. Ooh. And
okay.
And it's like it's opened my eyes to like their culture, the way they love, the way they like prioritize like their family, their friendships, the way they honor their traditions and culture. It made me even want to get deeper and more rooted in our own culture, because it's like being African American, we have such a huge disconnect with Africa and our culture of where we come from. So I did like the DNA testing.
Okay.
I always asked my grandparents like, okay, what do you know about where we came from? It made me like want to have like that kind of tradition, because seeing it all in like these dramas, they have like their annual festivals and traditions, and you see them in like their beautiful like ethnic garments and their celebrations. It's all so beautiful, and I'm like, I wish we could do that here. And
now I'm hearing Brianna. I'm hearing her correctly. She's saying that when she watches Korean dramas, she understands that there is an emphasis on family and closeness in that regard, and she wants to further that in her own community as an African American. But we also know that distance, as an African American speaking for myself, but that distance from Africa is not by our design. We know that there was a thing called transatlantic slave trade that created that disconnect physically, and so there's no blame. All right. So if you're not feeling very close to Africa, you can, and also it's not your fault if you don't. Soapbox done. So you saying when you saw other folks in particular, in these dramas going hard for their culture, it inspired you to want to go harder for your own culture, which I think is a hot take, because I think oftentimes when people hear that we as Black people, we as Black women, we as African American women, when we like and consume cultures like Korean pop culture, or, we're watching dramas like this, they think, oh, well, now you are stepping outside of your culture, you're in a negative way. And they'll think like, you low key opping and you're not really for your people anymore. And now you no longer care about your own culture. But what I'm hearing you say is that it's the complete opposite. When you are watching dramas, it's not because you want to escape and become Korean, if you will. Yes. Although that's a beautiful community. But you're not turning your back on your own culture, nor saying that one culture is better than the other. And I think that's what sometimes there's that disconnect, even with the K-pop when we talk about that, because I know that like when I have conversation with one of my family members, and I used to really be heavy listening to K-pop in the car. And of course there are so many similarities because there's Black influences, there's Black culture in Korean pop. And I think if anything, I'm like, that's why I'm vibing with it, because I hear myself. I'm like, you popping, I'm popping. Okay. So I think similarly with the Korean dramas and what you're saying and just expanding your worldview, that is what we're called to do as humans, if you will. I think this is a very woo-woo way of thinking about it, but the Korean dramas, at least for me, and I think also for you, allowed us to see other parts of the world before we had passports. We were able to see, what this culture looked like in this context and learn a little bit about family. We learned in words. We were over here saying words. I remember in 8th grade, I thought about learning Korean. So serious on everything. And it wasn't because of K-pop, because at the time, K-pop wasn't as popular as the dramas. I think the dramas went first, then the K-pop, then the K-pop surpassed the dramas. And now the dramas are kind of coming up. And then even now, because the K-dramas are so lucrative, I see other Asian dramas that are now coming up as well.
Yeah.
In terms of like popularity here in the Occident. Because I'm like, them Thai BLs, I think people like those.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chinese dramas are big too. Taiwanese dramas are big as well. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the BLs, I think, because that helped expand it, too, because everyone wants to see, like, that representation of not just, you know, heterosexual love, but, like, LGBTQ plus love stories, and they're definitely coming up in the game. Even Korean dramas are kind of catching up with that, too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow, I've never watched any of the Thai BLs, though, but I'm so curious if it's meant for the the homosexual male gaze, or if it's meant for the heterosexual female gaze, because
yes, that's true.
You know, with even with manga, the BL is, I think, written by women for women. And I remember in college I took a course about it, not particularly just about BL, but they talked about it. BL is boy love, for those that don't know. And I mean, that's so interesting. But I get what you're saying. Like, there's a trickle down effect when we get to see one type of culture and we get to see how expansive it is. That can also open opportunities for other cultures and other curiosity around other cultures, especially around that giant region, that giant continent, the biggest continent of Asia. So I think that's fire. I think that's literally amazing. But you said you also be watching novellas and Bollywood movies and everything. Okay. Checking. You're here for all the drama.
Yes. Can you tell I avoid, like, the American made TV?
Oh, wait, you're avoiding America? See,
no.
We just talked about this. Because it's got to be, I mean, it doesn't have to be. But I was thinking, like, at least in my case, I still love all of those things, but I'm still going to watch American dramas as well. So I'm going to, if you think about it's like when we're eating food and we want to get a little bit, I want a samosa here and I want a hot dog here. And, you know, I want some dumplings here and I want some okonomiyaki over there. And I want some, you know, we're picking and choosing and we're eating a diverse diet. And I think similarly with like media, we have to also do that so as not to get, like what you were saying, trained in our own mind and think that we're the only ones outside.
Yeah.
But also I don't turn my back. I mean, no, not in America, but like, I don't turn my back necessarily on like the media that also is made for my gaze and that interests me here in the States as well.
Yeah. So I guess that was like a weird way of putting it. I shouldn't say avoid it, but I don't.
You don't idolize it.
Yeah. And I don't like really go seek it out unless I see more diversity. And
okay,
I don't
talk about that. I see you.
Okay, I don't say that to be like, you know, you gotta have like your token Black character or Asian or Hispanic character. No, I really want to see some diversity in the love stories. I want to see, you know, like Black people falling in love, Hispanic people falling in love, Asian people falling in love, not only in like their own ethnic countries' dramas, but like in American dramas too. It's
because we got them too. We are a family like a giant tree. We got people too.
Yes, and I'm just so like those rom-com dramas you're saying, like that come out every Valentine's Day or the Hallmark.
We can't get sued. We're not even that big.
No. So those kind of dramas, I'm just like, it kind of just tires me out seeing the same old love story with the same old skin colored folk.
You are preaching to the choir. You're literally preaching to the choir. Okay. So what I'm hearing, girlfriend, is you're saying until y'all get some more diversity in these stories, I'm not going to be interested in wanting to see that. At least when I go outside of other cultures, I can see people that are brown. I can see people that are different hues. I can see people from different cultures.
Exactly.
So then that means you need to be watching some Nollywood as well if you want to see Black people.
Oh, I do.
She think I know. She said, you ain't
Where you been? I'm sorry.
You been watching Bad Husband 3? Oh, man. Okay. So you've been watching Nollywood movies as well.
Yeah. Like, oh gosh, what is it? Isoken?
Okay.
I don't know if it's Nollywood, but I know like African movies.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like the costumes, the places in those movies. gorgeous. Like, I need to go to Africa.
Okay, period. What will be your first country you'd want to go to?
Oh, it's so tough.
I know, it's so many countries.
It's a tie between Nigeria and Cameroon, only because those are some of the big countries that apparently my ancestors are from, according to Ancestry DNA. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, girl.
So
get over there.
So for sure.
All right, we about to come. On va venir au Cameroun, à Douala, à Yaoundé, gang gang.
Okay. Look at you.
Shout out Cameroon.
Yes.
Shout out my mom, Mama Jeanette. Love you. Shout out Madame. What was my teacher's name? I forgot. But shout out Cameroon. We love you. Oh, and shout out Fali Ipupa. This is awesome. This is literally amazing. So we're here in our dramas, and we've seen a lot over the last decade and some change. And I imagine, of course, we're not remiss to think that, again, we are unique in this. There are other Black folks, non-Black folks, and also Korean folks who grew up with this, Korean Americans, if you will, that also grew up with this. And I'm curious, for my Korean cousins out there, the extended family, let us know what you think about this popularity of like micro parts of your culture, of Korean pop culture, things like that. How are you taking it? And the fact that everybody and their moms is trying to get up on it. I mean, every time I see my For You page, everybody's like, yeah, I'm in Seoul. I'm doing it up. I'm eating tteokbokki. I'm annyeonghaseyo on everybody. So let us know, because I think that's also interesting when you see something that was a little bit more niche, a little bit more localized, become globalized to this extent. Because I know I'd be shook. I bet you this is exactly how people felt when hip hop went national, like international, like taking something that it has grassroots in a certain community in the Black and then Latine communities of New York and the Bronx, and then seeing that hit every wave in the country, and then taking that on a international level as everybody's making their own stylistic choices to make the genre their own. So I just imagine this is like, whoa,
yeah,
but I also imagine it's like, back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you all on me, and I'm also curious about like how that has changed the outlook of Asian Americans, whether positively or negatively. I know, and this is for another episode, but if y'all want to hear this conversation, let's talk about the interracial couples on the gram, on the YouTubes, the people that have really made some money off of just living and being and wanting to be with their partner who might not look like them. Although there are some that I definitely am like, y'all are together for a different reason. But most are going to think positively and think, yeah, it's love. So let's think about that. But I want to end this thing on, what are you currently watching?
Oh my
and
gosh.
Why should we be watching it too?
Oh gosh, I'm not currently watching a Korean one, so I have to go back to like the last Korean one that I just finished.
Okay,
it was Welcome to Samdauri with Ji Chun-wook. Oh my gosh, Korean drama, one of the Korean drama OGs. He is top tier. Okay, and then Kim Hae-sun. So it's really wholesome and about, again, romance, family life, and it's really relatable, but it does it in such a way that you learn something new about Korean culture. This group of like women who fish to provide for
I think I've heard about that.
Yeah, they fish to provide for like their families on this island.
I think I saw a documentary about it, but go ahead.
Yeah. It's so good. At first I was kind of hesitant, but then I saw another drama with Kim Hae-sun, so I was introduced to her, the lead actress in that Welcome to Samdauri, which is on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you can easily binge watch this drama. Yeah. But yeah, it's so good. Again, top tier comedy, humor, just love, family, drama, of course, all the drama.
Oh gosh. But I have a threshold for the drama because I got secondhand embarrassment on a couple things.
So yeah, that's not bad. It's like, I feel like it's understandable. You got family conflict, but it's so like heart-wrenching, and it's beautiful the way it's told. It's cinematic. So I highly recommend watching that.
Okay, we'll watch it. Let's put it on the list for Cousins.
Yeah, that's a long one at 16 episodes, and I believe the episodes are about an hour each.
Okay.
But there's like a mini one I watched, a limited series one called Love to Hate You, which was something that kind of, flips the K-drama romance on its head, which is also on Netflix.
Love to Hate You.
Amazing. Like, also very cinematic. You got like this famous actor who's gets, I guess, into it with this lawyer who becomes then his bodyguard. And because he's so kind of allergic, I guess, to women, he has hard times getting intimate with women. So then there's this little contract thing going on.
Of course, we love a contract.
And
I'll be your fake cover for a wit. We're going to fall in love.
Exactly. I'm going to break your allergy to women. And it's so cute. Again, throwing like some of the tropes on its head.
Oh, do they do the,
Yeah. So I highly recommend those two dramas. So like something more a little heartwarming than something very funny, cool. And it's shorter, I believe, at like 8-10 episodes.
I'm going to do the latter. I gotta keep it short because I don't want to go back into a cult. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a cult. Sometimes I just go in there and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get out easily. No, if you start a drama, you're gonna be kind of sucked in for a while.
Yes. And being adults now, we don't have like that free time.
We ain't got that time.
It's definitely tough trying to like do. Be an adult and then try and like binge something or really invest in something. So that's why I usually wait till they're done.
There we go. And you also got to make sure your eyes are ready to read them subtitles.
Yes.
I don't know if you ever get too confident, but I do all the time where I will watch a drama and then I'll turn away. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I got it. Chikumbuto or whatever. And I say, oh, yeah, I know what they're saying. I got it. And then I come to find out I missed the most important plot point because I thought that I could understand Korean or Japanese or Chinese or something, Chinese, I got it. But the Japanese or the Korean, and I turned my head and I'm like, I missed everything.
Yes, that is so true.
Yeah. Read them subtitles. Get literate. It's going to get you literate.
That's
one thing. Them dramas, they gonna get you literate. You better learn to read quickly.
I'm sure like my RPM reading per minute has like increased since I haven't measured it, but I'm sure it has.
So if you made it this far in the episode, then you know that Brianna has already given us a list of recs that we need to start adding to our queue today. And that we also need to up our RPM because we need to be able to read these subtitles. And maybe we all need to learn Korean or something. But anyway, if you enjoyed Brianna, then I'm sure you want to know all her socials so you can follow her and you can support everything that she does. So y'all, if you enjoyed this conversation, we want you to make sure that you are following us on Instagram at Cousins the Pod. And then also, if you want to follow this brilliant human, Brianna Peoples right here, where can they find you?
Yeah, so my at both Twitter and Instagram is at Be Caring to People, kind of like a play on my name.
Be Caring to People. Do you see? She can do no wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Be Caring to People is excellent. So let's be caring to each other and be kind to each other. You guys can find us on Instagram at Cousins the Pod. You can find us also on Google. If you want to send us an email on Gmail, it's at cousinsthepod@gmail.com. So cousinsthepod@gmail.com. If you want to follow me on the Instagram or the TikToks, it's Project Reality. That's Project B Reality. Okay? This has been so much fun. I had so much fun.
It was.
I just want to sing a song for Stand By Me. See, shout out Shiny. Shout out Shiny. And rest in peace, my boy Jonghyun.
Oh gosh, gets me in the feels every time.
Hey, but so grateful for the art, so grateful for the boys, so grateful for 17. Say the name.
And BCS. What?
Please get out the camera. All right, thank you so much to 17 for all of the beautiful songs, and thank you again for coming on the show. We talked about K-dramas. If you have an experience of being a K-drama girly, and you a black girl or you somebody that's not even Korean, and you always like these dramas. Let us know in the comment section below on the YouTube. Feel free to leave us a comment or something like that. Like and follow and subscribe always. And I will see you on the next episode of Cousins. Woo! Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching and or listening to Cousins. Our host, our producer, our editor, our writer is all me. The music at the top is from my cousin, my actual cousin, Laura, aka Esoteric Galaxy. And my artwork is done by my homeboy Sawyer. If you like this, make sure that you like and subscribe and follow and do all the things on all the socials. Make sure you follow us on socials at Cousins the Pod on Instagram or at Cousins the Pod on YouTube. That's where we put all the clips and everything. So make sure you get into it. And if you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and all my antics at Project Reality. That's Project B Reality. Thanks so much for rocking with me. I hope you enjoyed. Let's watch our K-dramas and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.